March 4th and 5th are bittersweet. The Licking River had already crested at an all-time record level, but the crest was still coming on the Ohio, and the light at the end of the tunnel was not very bright. The stubborn mud on this bridge was a sign of what Falmouth could expect when floodwaters eventually receded. But on Tuesday, scenes like this were a reminder that it was still a waiting game. Tina Slater has only seen her home from the outside.
I'm scared to go in it. My neighbor, she said that she went in it and she don't cry at all. She cried and I knew it was bad.
Along the Ohio River, the impact of the flood was being felt in Silver Grove.
It was 3'11" in my basement about 9 o'clock this morning.
Reporter Deborah Dixon found people there trying to stick with their homes.
The river reclaiming its banks is just part of living here. Doug Black got through it in '64. Days ago, he started getting ready to get through this one.
We brought everything up from the basement, as you can see, and stacked it in the living room and throughout the house.
Bottled water, blankets, a boat, part of Doug Black's survival kit. He has plenty of food in the refrigerator, but no electricity.
We have plenty of potato chips, it looks like, and lots of cat food. But now, as far as human food in there, it looks pretty bleak.
Cincinnati was still coping with its troubles on Tuesday. Major commuter routes were now covered in floodwaters.
Heading west on Kellogg.
A group of firefighters trained for boat rescues found themselves busy. Their pontoon boat maneuvered in floodwaters 20 feet above the asphalt streets of the East End. Businesses near the river were trying to cope with big problems. Merchants take what they can and count their losses. By now, the flood of '97 was drawing hundreds of people with binoculars and cameras. They wanted to see history in the making.
Because of the site, it really is something which we travel this road every day, and to see the water this high is pretty amazing.
Another of the 19 people killed in Kentucky was found Tuesday, this time in Mason County, Kentucky. 24-year-old Stuart Buser and 3 friends were in a pickup watching the water rise Saturday when flash flooding struck. The 3 clung to trees waiting for help.
The water rose probably 2 feet when we was in there. You could just feel it coming up. And we couldn't see each other, but we could yell at each other. And we hollered for Stuart. But we prayed, and we just did everything we could to stay alive.
I begged the sheriff to let me see him. So I took my hand and rubbed it over his forehead, told him how much I loved him. And that was it.
Wednesday brought a vice presidential visit. Al Gore was to tour Kentucky flood damage, but poor weather conditions kept his helicopter grounded. He toured Cincinnati's riverfront with Mayor Roxanne Qualls.
On behalf of the President and the country, let me just say that the entire United States of America will come together to help Cincinnati and the surrounding areas on both sides of the river to recover from this flood.
In Newport, city officials erected another flood wall. For the first time ever, the wall went up, protecting Route 8.
Doing it as a precaution, even though the river's forecast to crest lower than that, we still need to take this precaution because of the lead time we need for the construction. Dearborn County, Indiana was hard hit as well by the rising Ohio. 12 News reporter Deborah Dixon found that area in a crisis.
Indiana's Route 56 through Aurora. The road signs are now river markers. About half the city is underwater, about 5.5 feet now, judging from the 7-foot high doors of riverfront businesses.
There's the driest car in Aurora.
Barely anything was dry in the little town of Falmouth come Thursday. The river levels were falling. However, the tensions were on the rise in this little town and in other little river communities. You see, on the 6th of March, that was Thursday, they started to assess the damage.